Oh man. So what's my coach been up to? Oh yeah? It could have been a lot worse. There was a fire out at the Resurrection Ranch. Oh no, it wasn't at the ranch. I know he wasn't clickbaiting on his mama again. I know he wouldn't do that. My coach wouldn't do that. Y'all's pastor would do that. But I know my coach wasn't clickbaiting on his mama. But he said it could have been much worse. What was it? Oh yeah? There was a fire, electrical fire, high winds where we have a power pole that went down across the street. Oh yeah? All right. And so the ranch or Grandma Lily's house got a lot of smoke. Got a lot of smoke, but no fire. All right, okay. But the harbinger of doom, my coach, he said that if the fire had just jumped across the street, then it could have torched that trailer. It could have torched the Amazing Grace, set Amazing Grace ablaze. Oh yeah? That's what the pastor said. If only it had jumped across the street, it could have torched Grandma Lily's property. That's interesting coming from a pastor. Especially a pastor that always talks about, well, recently was talking about hoping and praying for the best. Why would he be talking about the worst? That would be the worst, pastor. Oh, yeah? So the fire happened across the street. All right. Oh, that's good to know. He had a big build up for it. Racing down the street. Racing down that raggedy old driveway out there at the IAG Farm. And racing out there, and the fire was across the street. He didn't know that it was across the street until he got there. Oh yeah? He said that Grandma Lily was pulling up and she saw the smoke. Pulling up from where? I thought Grandma Lily was living full time out at the ranch. But she was pulling up as well? Okay, all right. Maybe she was out doing some grocery shopping or out hanging with the rest of her family. Hanging out with the other grandchildren. But the fire was across the street. Oh, yeah? It made for great content? Oh, yeah, all right. Now, please don't tell me that my coach trespassed. Did he trespass again? Oh, yeah? Where was he trespassing? He was trespassing across the street from Grandma Lily's house? Just trespassing, walking through yet another neighbor's property, looking at the damage from the fire? Oh, yeah? Well, that's one of his specialties. Trespassing is one of his specialties. And talking about other people's property, that's one of his specialties. But all right, that was it for that. What else has my coach been up to? Oh, yeah? He was doing the nodcast. The nodcast. A little bit of work with that. What did he say? Something about the kids asking him, why do they hate us? Really? The kids? Which kids? The kids in his mind? Okay. Why would the kids ask about people hating them? How would the kids even know about somebody hating them? Why would the kids use that terminology at all? Yes. Considering that they're raising them up as being Bible reading children, being God-fearing children, why would they even be so familiar with that hate word? It would have to come from my coach. So you're telling me that my coach has been bombarding those kids with that hate terminology? Okay. In his paranoia, he's been bombarding those kids. He's been bringing it up time and time again. In his insecurities, he's been talking about hate, and more hate. And maybe some of it has rubbed off on the kids. No, maybe that's where it came from. What else did he talk about? He talked about crabs in a bucket. My coach has crabs. He has crabs in a bucket. Okay, all right now. It used to be called crabs in a barrel. Crabs in a bucket. A bucket is kind of small. It's pretty small. But crabs in a bucket, for it to be in a bucket, that would have to be like a real small circle of folk. So who are the crabs that he's referring to? I sure hope he's not calling Megan, his beloved Megan, a crab. I know he's not calling those boys crabs. And I sure hope he's not calling Grandma Lily a crab. So I can only think that he must be referring to some of his uncles, maybe some of his siblings. Okay. But he's talking about how he's dealing with crabs in a bucket. All right, coach. All right, coach. Coach, we do understand that it's not a podcast, coach. But coach, when are we going to get back to the recidivism? Coach, when are we going to get back to you teaching ex-convicts how to avoid going back into the penal system? When are we going to get back to that, coach? And not focusing so much on the reaction channels, not focusing so much on the critics and the scrutiny that you're receiving, coach. When we're going to get back to some positive influence, some positive inspiration, some positive motivation, and not all this negative paranoia type stuff that you have going on, coach. It sounds like my coach has been busy. He's been busy. What else has he been up to? Well, I know they call him the trash man. They call him the Sanford and Son of IAG. So I know he stayed busy. Apparently, he was out there cleaning up that pig pen, out there playing with his tractor, moving around actually before that, I guess he was out there working around the shed shack. He's out there working at Ernest, playing out there in the hay. And I guess he let that hay sit out there long enough for the dogs and the other animals to pee and poop upon it, long enough for the fleas to set up their condominiums. And I guess he left it out there long enough for it to become trash. And I guess now that it's trash, he's going to take it over and he's going to feed it to the pigs. He's going to take it over and feed it to the pigs. I guess after all, pigs will eat anything. I guess they'll eat anything, coach. I understand that he used it to level out the dirt over there at the pig pen. I understand that, coach. Now that you're done with the barn, not done. Now that you're finished with the barn, not finished either. I guess it's time to go about playing about in other areas. I do understand that initially you told us that you were going to lay down about 4 inches of gravel in front of the shack. And I guess initially the thought was that you're going to use that area for your chicken processing. But I guess you decided, well, no, we're going to use this as a parking pad. We're going to use it as a parking pad for my soon coming, okay, my soon to arrive zero-turn mower. And I'm like, okay, coach. All right, coach. You talk about that zero-turn mower like you're having a baby. You already have a baby. And it's baby Benjamin. How about you give Benjamin some of the affection, some of the adoration that you're all set to give to this zero-turn mower? Some of the adoration that you give to that bad boy tractor. How about you give little Benjamin some of that? But oh, by the way, coach, you talk about retiring your little putt-putt mower. Now, coach, all right, just like I'm not a farming expert, I'm also not a mowing expert. I'm not a lawnmower expert. But lawnmowers are used to mow lawns, coach. Coach, where is your lawn, coach? All grass ain't lawn, coach. All right, so now if you go ahead and you get that zero-turn mower, coach, that's going to force you to actually grow a lawn. And coach, I know you're prone to do things backwards, coach. But shouldn't you have a lawn before you purchase an expensive lawn mower, coach? I know you like to do it backwards. But coach, with you, it's all toys and all trash. All toys, all trash, coach. What kind of aesthetic is that? We're supposed to look past the trash to see the toys? It doesn't work out for us, coach. And so even though you're the appointed trash man of IAG, you're like Sanford and Sons, coach, it's not a good aesthetic. I understand that you're already going about replacing the trash. All that trash that you had Cook and his boys removed from your property. From your property. All of that trash that you had removed, we can clearly see that you're going about the task of rebuilding the trash. Rebuilding the trash. Okay, apparently that's what you're most comfortable with. Having trash and more trash around you. We get it, coach. We get it. No, we really don't get it, but we understand it. At this point, coach, we understand it. We understand it's what you do. But all right. Before I get to my reaction to the recent IAG Farms video where Tim talks about getting done, tightening his belt, and getting done. I really think he was talking about rolling up his sleeves, but you know, okay, we're talking about literacy here. But so he's talking about tightening his belt and getting done. Before I get to that video, I do want to recognize you guys who have been active in the comments. Keep that dialogue flowing. Keep that commentary going both ways. Of course, I want to shoot out special recognition to you heavy Tim followers. I hear you guys in the comments. I see you guys in the comments talking about Captain, Timothy is the best thing that ever happened to us. Like, hold on. What are we talking about? What do we mean? He's the best thing that ever happened to you. You're saying he's the best thing that ever happened. And I'm like, okay, now the song goes, Jesus is the best thing that ever happened to you. You guys are talking about, well, Timothy is the best thing that ever happened to us. And if you were truly a captain, you would look the other way. He would be hands off. You would be hands off on our Timothy. And I'm like, hold on now. We don't have false idols. I don't support false idols. Okay. And so how in the world can you say that Timothy is the best thing that ever happened to you? And anybody that doesn't agree is a hater. I'm like, okay, come on now. We don't do the false idols. And now when you're done riding your pastor, okay, just realize and remember, Jesus is the best thing that ever happened to you. Okay. Timothy is not the best thing. He should not be the best thing. Hopefully you have a local pastor. Hopefully you have a local minister. Hopefully you have someone in your local or your close vicinity to you that you could symbolize just a little bit as being something great that has happened to you. But Timothy being the best thing that ever happened to you, come on now. You guys be wilding. Y'all be wilding in the comments. And because you guys are wilding, I'm going to keep on digressing. Welcome back to the end game, where today I'm going to provide my reaction to the recent IAG Farms video where Tim is talking about getting done. Done or not done? Okay, coach. Because when we look around that farm, we see a bunch of stuff that's not done. Not done. Anywhere we look, we see a lot of undoneness, coach. So getting what done, coach? You didn't even finish off the siding, coach. But yet you're telling your heavy Tim followers that the barn is done, coach. Okay? You didn't even finish off that coffin death trap of a brooder. But I'm sure you told your followers that it was done, coach. You didn't finish off that roofing on that shed shack. But I'm sure your followers believe that it's done. Holy moly, coach. Done. You never finished off Emma, as you call Emma. But you never finished off HEMA, as in hoarding even more material assets. You never finished off HEMA. By your own admission, HEMA is about 80% done. You still have a bathroom to finish and some other tasks. Okay? So you talk about getting things done, rolling up your sleeves or tightening your belt to get things done, coach. Which done? The completion type done? The finish type done? Or just the done? But I'm going to provide my reaction to that video here. Early in the video, Tim talks about using that shed area as a chill, area. Okay. Never mind the mice. Never mind the fleas. Never mind the rats. the chickens, the stench from the chickens and the chicken processing. But you talk about using that area as a chill area. Like, okay, coach, what kind of chill area would that be? You talked about putting down that gravel, and then you went about fawning over this zero turn mower. You went about fawning over it. All right, coach. As a pastor, coach, I do not have to remind you about false idols, coach. And I know you said that you don't do sponsorships, but why in the world do you keep referring to that tractor as being the bad boy tractor? It's just a tractor, coach. Okay? You talk about that bad boy tractor as if it's your greatest accomplishment. You talk about this soon to arrive zero turn mower as if maybe it's your second biggest accomplishment, coach. And I'm like, okay, coach, hold on now. We talk about accomplishments. You're talking about the tractor being first. You're talking about the zero turn being second. What? The side by side is your third biggest accomplishment. Then what? Then the cattle hauler. Then the trailer. What next, coach? Okay. And then finally you get around to recognize Megan as being an accomplishment. Then the boys, in that order, coach. Come on, coach. Why so much adoration about these material items, coach? Why so much focus on hoarding even more material assets? Why, coach? Why?
We have a wood stove in there as well. On cold days, we could be sitting in here around the wood stove for real. This would be a good chill area until we get our porch built on Emma on our house over here. But yeah, so y'all see I got this kind of set up, and I still have plenty of space for the thing that starts with zero for real. But yeah, so there's just plenty of room. I could park the side by side. I could park the thing that begins with zero that that'll be coming soon is I could park about 2 or 3 small pieces of equipment. And if I wanted to park the tractor under here, which I don't, I could probably park just the tractor. The tractor will take up all that space that's left over. But this whole section right here is 12 feet wide by 20 feet long going this way. So it's 12 by 20. And the whole barn is 20 by 22. That's kind of the shape that we made it.
I've been gone for too long. Standing here a while just to take it all in. Radio's playing.
A bit later, my coach Tim, y'all's pastor Tim, he reminds you guys that the barn, he implies that the barn is pretty much done. Even though it's missing yet a wall, it's still missing a wall. It still should be some type of enclosure, full enclosure. Even though it does not have a step or two to get into the door. I'm like, hold on now, coach. Is that a crate? Is that 2 crates with a piece of plywood on top of it and a couple of pavers? Is that what constitutes a step for you, coach? We know that safety is an afterthought for you. But for heaven's sake, what about for Megan with her hernia? What about Megan after she recovers from her hernia? Okay? Let alone the boys. What about safety for those boys? We know that safety is an afterthought for you. But coach, good gracious, when you even approach being completed with that shed, when you even approach being completed with that shack, coach, at least put 1 or 2 stairs upon it. Okay? You're going to lay down this gravel. That'd probably be a perfect time for you to set up some type of paver steps, some type of concrete steps, or even some wooden steps, coach. How about that, coach? How about getting those stairs done, coach?
I'm going to get the bad boy tractor, as y'all saw. I got it all greased up and ready to roll. And I made a mishap, as y'all saw, with a grease gun. I thought it was empty, but it was actually full. But yeah, hey, we all make mistakes. But my goal today is to get up under here because we're pretty much done. I have this small little section right here. I got a piece of siding I need to put right there. As you can see on that side, I had a siding completed over there with trim and everything. But over here, I got one more piece of siding. I actually ran out, and I'm gonna try to piece together a couple pieces and put them right there, so I won't have to buy just a whole another sheet, because I got like multiple pieces of cutoffs. And then once I get that done, I just need to trim right there on that corner, and then trim around this door, and we'll be done. As far as the siding, as y'all saw, Grandma came and caulked everything for us. Like I said, I told her, I said, hey, I got a job here that, I'm looking to hire somebody. And, she said, I'll do it for free. And I said, no, well, I'm willing to hire somebody, so I'm going to pay you to do it as well. And like I said on that video, it's kind of a shame that you got to get a 70-year-old lady to, do a job. That's the only person I can find that I can depend on to do it right. Like I said, I've tried to hire other people before, but like I said, it's just, people don't do work the right way and don't do what they say they're going to do. But
a bit later, Tim is back to worshiping this false idol that is the zero-turn mower to be. And I'm like, okay, coach, we already talked about the fact that you need a lawn first if you're going to use a lawnmower. What you have is more suitable for bush hogging, and zero turn is not for bush hogging. But anyway, you talk about how the shed shack is pretty much done. You give yourself all the credit for building it up. You try to exclude the contributions of Megan, Grandma Lily, and even what the boys have done to maintain it. I'm like, okay, come on, coach. Coach, we see the videos, coach. Okay. Insecurities, coach. Okay, coach. Don't let your insecurities, coach. Don't let your depressions get in your way, coach. It's all right to give folk credit. It's okay to give them some type of credit. It's okay to recognize those around you for contributing. It's supposed to be a homestead, coach. It's supposed to be a farm. On a farm, everybody contributes. But when it's time to heap praise, the only praise that you dole out is praise upon yourself, coach. Okay? Don't let the insecurities get in your way, coach. Okay? The self-affirmation, you already have dictated that Megan needs to affirm you. Megan needs to stroke you at every turn. Grandma Lily needs to follow the script that you write. Okay? She needs to talk about how amazing things are when they clearly aren't. But coach, you can give credit to other people around you. Okay? It's a family. It's a group effort. Everybody contributes, coach, not just yourself.
Under here is the wagon and the barbecue trailer smoker. And then I'm going to open this area up because we may have something that includes the number 0 on the way and headed to the farm. Something that we've been waiting on for the last couple of years. Something that involves me retiring old put over there. But y'all stay tuned for that video. But I need to get everything cleaned out under here because y'all know one of my goals was I couldn't get this thing with the number 0 in it until I had a shelter to put it under. And we finally got this barn finished. Got a roof on that side of the barn, and I got this side finished. This side always had a roof on, or this side has had a roof on it for about a year and a half now. But this side here, as y'all know, was still open. And I built this barn primarily by myself. Like I say, I did most of the work myself, but then Megan and the boys came in here or there, and then Grandma came in here or there. But I'm glad and excited to almost be done with it, and it's looking good. And now I have a place to put this thing with the number 0 in it under here, and so I can go ahead and move forward with that. And so yeah, y'all stay tuned for that. But I'm gonna try to get everything cleaned out under here.
Later in the video, when Tim is done playing around at the shed shack and pushing that hay out and what have you, he decides that he's going to go in, he's going to interrupt Megan. Megan is in the trailer, and she's clearly she's in there with the boys, bonding, fellowshipping, nurturing the boys, nurturing little Benjamin, having good quality time with the boys, doing what mama bears do. When Tim barges in and says, hey, I need someone to come down and open this gate down at the pig pen. And Megan volunteers, at first she's like, well, who do you think should help out? And she volunteers Tim Jr., because he's the strong one in the group. So she volunteers Tim Jr. And of course, Tim Sr. is like, no, When I said I need somebody to help Megan, I meant you. I meant you, Megan. So I'm going to veto your offer of Tim Jr. Because, oh, by the way, that would interfere with my intended domination of you, Megan. I need you to go down there. Bring your hernia with you, Megan. I need you to go down there and push that gate back and forth repeatedly. Drag it through the mud. And so he vetoes Megan's offer of having Tim Jr. help out and support. And so I'm like, okay, coach, clearly you do not care about Megan's time with those kids. Okay. Clearly you don't care about how long it's going to take. You told Megan, well, come on down, Megan. It won't take long at all. And we can see, even with the time lapse video, we can see that that task took quite a while. And so, but you're like, Megan, it won't take a while. It won't take too long for you to complete the task. And we're like, okay, obviously you don't care about her being away from those boys. Obviously you don't care about her being away from little Benjamin, even little baby Benjamin. You don't care about her being away from little Benjamin. And apparently you don't recognize the significance, the risk associated with leaving those boys unattended. Okay, first of all, little Benjamin is unattended. And then secondly, the boys are unattended. And if you think that those boys in their maturity, at their maturity level, are suitable to be caretakers of little Benjamin, then holy moly, coach. Holy moly, coach.
Hey, I'm about to push this hay into the pig pen. All the hay I mucked up at the barn, and I need somebody to open the pig pen gate for me.
All right, Tim, who do you think should do it?
I probably need an adult.
Okay, I'll do it.
Because that gate kind of rough.
Okay, no problem.
It won't
You
take.
said me.
Yeah, it won't take long.
Okay, no problem. Here it comes.
After I got all that hay mucked out the barn, just kind of roughly, I'm going to go back in there and fine tune it. Hey, I'm about to push this hay into the pig pen. All the hay I mucked up at the barn, and I need somebody to open the pig pen gate for me.
All right, Tim, who do you think should do it?
I probably need an adult.
Okay, I'll do it.
Because that gate kind of rough.
Okay, no problem.
It won't
You
take.
said me.
Yeah, it won't take long.
Okay, no problem. Here it comes.
After I got all that hay mucked out the barn, just kind of roughly, I'm going to go back in there and fine tune it. But first, I'm going to get all this hay that I got piled up and give it to the pigs. Let them munch on it. They love old spent hay. They just love to lay down in it, munch on it a little bit, and they just bed down in to stay warm at night. But I got Megan coming out to open this gate for me, and I'm going to go ahead and push this this hay through this gate, and then I can move on to getting back to the barn, get all this out the way, and then I can get done in there. So let me set y'all back up when we get this hay.
Later in the video, once Tim finishes moving around the hay and the dirt at the pig pen, once Megan is done hauling that gate back and forth, being on her feet, once he's finally done, he says, well, okay, Megan, you can go ahead and head back up to the house. Okay. Thank you for your service, Megan. You're dismissed. You're dismissed, Megan. You can go ahead and head back up to the house. And unexpectedly, Megan says, thank you. As in, thank you for releasing me. Thank you. And she goes about running. She goes about sprinting, sprinting back to the trailer. She's sprinting back to the trailer because apparently of the two parents, she's the only one that realizes the significance of those boys being unattended to for long stretches of time. Okay. Apparently she's the only one that realizes that, holy moly, what could have gone on since I've been gone? Okay, what could the boys have gotten into? And what must be going through little Benjamin's mind right now, being without his mama for such a long period of time? So she sprints back up to the house, and she's on her way back to the boys.
Just spot up a little bit. They probably root through this and move all this dirt out the way in one day. But this keeps it because we had to stack up a lot of stuff at the bottom of this gate here because they root down so low that, you know, they end up having a big gap under the gate. But this loose dirt, they're going to have fun rooting through it. So it'll probably be gone by tomorrow. But I figured I'd at least try while I was here because what we really need is a good rain to come through. And then I drive over to pack it down real good. But I was hoping that the hay was gonna get their attention, because I was like, maybe I can put the hay over there and they can like play around in that hay and stay away from this dirt right here. But yeah, so they probably gonna root through it. But got that hay in there, and thank you for the help, Megan.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I was hoping the hay would distract them too, but it's a little bit of fresh grass in that dirt.
Yeah.
And so they would much rather have
look in
fresh
one piece.
grass
Yeah.
and, you know, roots than just eat hay. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, hopefully it'll hold them off a little bit.
Yep. All right, thank you. You can head on back in.
All right, thank you.
All right. All right, thank you. You can head on back in.
All right, thank you.
All right.
A bit later, Tim he explains his decision, how they're going to try to do the breeder hogs for one more season, see how it goes. Then they're going to shift their focus to the feeder hogs. He talks about the fact that with the breeder hogs, you have to care for them. Heaven forbid that a pig farmer, would have to care for some pigs year round. Heaven forbid, huh, Tim? But he talks about with the breeder hogs, you have to care for them year round. With the feeder hogs, it's for a short period of time before you can get them into your belly. Okay? So they don't need year-round care that the breeder hogs need. Okay? He's like, the breeder hogs are like part of your family. They're like pets. They don't go into your belly. And we're like, okay, coach, well, as a caretaker, of course you have to care for those hogs. Okay? He talked about how pretty the pig pen area used to be, how pretty it once was, but now it has wooden boards covering holes and water pails covering things, and it looks like a pigsty. And we're like, oh, coach, it's part of upkeeping. It's part of not neglecting animals. Okay? It's a responsibility that you have, coach. It's not hands-free, coach. It's not hands-off. And so how in the world would you blame the pigs? Yeah, of course. He blamed the pigs. He said the pigs messed up this pigsty. Like, coach, hold on now. I think we have to look at the owner, okay? If the owner kept it or left it unkept, okay? If the owner left it unattended to because he had other priorities, because the season changed or seasons changed, that's really on the owner or the caretaker, okay? But you can't blame it on the pigs. Pigs do what they do, coach, just like you do what you do.
Like I said, I got it graded nicely so the water just roll right through there. But like I say, they're going to root until they get all of that dirt moved out of the way. And then once the dirt is moved out of the way on that side of the fence, once the rain comes, it's just going to wash it off. So, hey, all we can do is try. Because like I said, it looks a whole lot better like that than having a bunch of scrap pieces of boards and everything in the way. But that's one of the reasons why we're kind of moving on from, we're trying feeder pigs, or breeders, I mean. We're trying to do breeders for one more year to see, because it takes a whole lot of more work to raise breeders, because you got to keep them year round, than it does to raise feeder pigs. As y'all know, we picked up 3 feeder hogs, and all you had to do is raise those for 4 to 6 months or something like that, and then the rest of the year you don't have pigs at all. Because when they're here year round, they mess up your fences, they root underneath the fence and all those type of things. Like I say, this pen down here used to be a nice pen, but now, as you see, we have all type of scrap pieces of boards, all type of like water barrels and everything to cover up holes so they won't get out and be over on the neighbor's property. But like I say, I tried, and we'll see how that holds up right there at that gate. But I'm gonna get back over here now to the barn site and get done getting that cleaned up.
Later on in the video, Tim once again tries to justify cramming those 2 adult full-size dogs into that itty-bitty cage. He talks about the fact that if they're not locked in that cage, they're going to roam and they might wind up on the neighbor's property. He talks about the fact that they're only in that cage to sleep at night. He talks about the fact that when they're in there at night, it's only about 4 to 5 hours tops. And we're like, okay, coach. In most parts of the world, from sundown to sunup is more than 5 hours, coach. And I know, and we know that you struggle with the mathematics. We know that you struggle with the arithmetic, coach. Okay. But coach, you can count hours on your fingers, coach. But he talks about that cage. he talks about how the plan is that someday they will actually purchase a dog kennel for the dogs. He talks about, well, I don't know, but even with a dog kennel, this one dog, he can climb gates. And so he could climb out of a dog kennel. We're like, hold on, Coach, they have dog kennels that have roofs on them. Yes. They build them with roofs. Okay. And oh, by the way, Coach, don't you have 2 perfectly good dog kennels, AKA chicken coops, already on your property? 2 unused dog kennels, Coach? And so why would the plan be to someday get them a dog kennel, Coach? You already have them in place. And I'm like, so you're telling me that considering that that's further down on your list, those dogs have to be out there in the cold. They have to be out there in the stench, out there with the fleas, because it's a plan. It's down there on your list. Okay. And so he went further and he said, well, the subscribers said that the cage was too small. And of course, we know that means that the reaction channels and the commenters on the reaction channels said that the cage was too small. We understand that, Coach, when you say that your subscriber said it. And you told your subscriber, you said, don't you guys worry. Don't you worry about what I do with my animals. Look the other way. They're my animals. Look the other way. Don't you worry about these animals. They'll be fine. And it's none of your business. And in the video, he also tries to show a little bit of love toward those animals. And of course, the dogs are like, well, who is this dude? They're sniffing around. They're like, who is this dude? And the other dog is like, well, I don't know, but he smells like food. So they get all up on him. And we have this exciting moment, this love-filled moment of him playing with the dogs and the dogs playing with the stranger, the stranger of IAG. They were like, okay, Coach. Even the dogs, Coach, even they're part of the script. Well, I guess they don't know any better. They smell food and they start sniffing. And they smell food, they come running. They smell food or they perceive food and they're at it. And so they're willing participants in the script, Coach. But Coach, that small cramped cage, Coach, the dogs have to curl up in a ball, and you're trying to tell us that they prefer to curl up in a ball, Coach? What about when they get up and walk around? They don't climb into the cage. They don't climb into that prison. They don't volunteer for lockdown, Coach. They don't volunteer for it. But you're telling me that, oh, it's fine for them. Don't you guys worry about it. I got it covered. As in, I don't got it covered. It's been months. Has it been years, Coach? It appears as though you ain't got it covered.
Y'all supposed to be out at night protecting the farm, but I gotta lock y'all up. And what our subscribers say is a small cage. For real. And it is small, but it's not meant for them to like hang out in. They're only meant to sleep. And one of them, you can kind of see the hay that's kind of like flat right there. That little circle right, let's see, right there. That little circle right there is where Gideon sleeps at. And I don't know if you can see that little circle right there. That little circle is where Solo sleep at. I don't know if y'all have ever seen a blue heeler sleep, but they're like wild dogs. They ball up, they curl their tail on their eyes, like their whole body, like they ball it up where it's like a 4x4 little circle. For real. But all they do is sleep in here, so y'all don't worry about them. They're just sleeping in here, and this cage is keeping them honest so that they don't end up on the neighbor's property doing crazy stuff. But there's some good dogs, though. And like I say, one of these days, we do have it on the agenda to get them a dog kennel. But the only thing about dogs like this, you can't hardly hold them in with a dog kennel because they're too wild. They'll dig out. Solo will climb out. Solo can, like, scale a fence. Like, that dog there is something else. For real. But the goal is, for them to just freely just lay in here in the barn, on cold nights and just hang out, and maintain the farm, protect the biddies and all those type of things. But they end up getting a little bit hard-headed sometimes. So we just lock them in the cage at night for about 4 or 5 hours and let them out the rest of the day. So they're not in the cage like all the time. You know what I'm saying?
But all right. That's it. That's it for my reaction to that recent IAG Farms video where Tim talks about rolling up his belt and getting her done. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Chop it up in the comments. Burner Tim, we'll see you there. I want to shoot out some love to my current subscribers. Thank you for showing me that love. Thank you. For those viewers that have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing so that we can continue to shine that light. Until next time.